who spoke on that, or one of whom, Kevin, spoke on that occasion. I was very impressed by the skills that they had and the relevance of those skills to that business. We're talking about an e-learning business, music technology. So if you're into your hip-hop, your breakbeat, your, all this new disco music, what are they called? Amnesia, this great disco in New York where they dance in soap bubbles the night away. That's the sort of business, that's the sort of area, that's the sort of zone that they're in. But it's becoming the sort of business that's engaging with young 14, 15, 16-year-olds, as well as guys, you know, my sort of age, who maybe played a musical instrument or are interested in recording it. So it was an interesting proposition. That their belief was extraordinary. And as well, they weren't just kind of headbangers, they were bright guys too. Kevin, who started the business, had a law degree from Birmingham University. He had been a compliance manager with the FSA, a manager with KPMG, but then ditched all that because he was a very keen musician. Was a drummer with a band called the Divine Comedy, which I certainly was aware of. I don't know whether you are. And his partner, Phil Johnson, who used to mix with bands like U2 and Annie Lennox. So you had, I mean, I think you could probably see, maybe understand why I was enthusiastic about this business. Anyway, I spoke to them afterwards, and of course the main thing was we really got on. There was that kind of chemistry that you immediately know whether it's there or it's not there, and we just got on very well together. They called me Grandpa, and of course I called them all sorts of other things. But that's just, we have a very relaxed relationship. I literally had to get my checkbook out, which is very unusual. Going back to what Anthony was saying about, you know, not doing his due diligence the first time, I was kind of pretty much in the same position. But I was rescued. But I had so much belief that these guys had something to offer that I got my checkbook out within a week, and I'd written a check to cover the salary bill for that month. And I did the same the next month. In the meantime, I was doing a little bit of due diligence. What I didn't really appreciate, well, what developed is that basically the investment that I'd made was going to leverage a lot of other investment. And this was a business, like any internet business, it does burn cash pretty fast, and there's no way that the investment that I was able to make was going to be able to cover their needs. But what the investment did do is it leveraged a £75,000 grant from the Arts Council. It leveraged £100,000 investment by eSynergy as part of the NISPO funding, and also it helped leverage some gap funding from Invest Northern Ireland. And together with the investment that I made, we basically ended up with a pot of money worth about £350,000, which really gave the tools for this company to deliver what it wanted to deliver. So from my point of view, you can imagine the immense sense of satisfaction that I got, if you like, helping somebody realize a dream. And that really is what it's all about. And that's, you know, that's another reason. It's not just about fun, it's not just about good timing, it's about helping people realize dreams. And I certainly get a lot of satisfaction. Now, the whole thing, of course, might go pair up, skirts in the sky and all the rest of it. I sincerely hope not. But we've attracted that investment. On the board, we have the European Director of Google Europe. We have the Managing Director of a company called Blackstaff, who flies over from England, who has networks throughout Europe and the United States. We have a professor on the board. So we've put together a really good team. And I just sit there as grandpa on the board, offering a slightly different angle on the discussions. And I think I definitely think I have something to contribute. So that's how I got involved in eSynergy with the Angel Network. I'm currently looking to invest in another company in a completely different area. But again, it's with people who I find I get on with very well, have the chemistry is there. I think they've got a fantastic idea, an amazing idea. And it's just a matter of trying to convert that idea into and developing it a bit of traction. And a lot of this is about guys who basically are approaching customers with a fantastic idea. All they lack is credibility. and the credibility of having a private investor, another face to go in front of a customer who does have a history of kind of having achieved something, or can make the difference between success and failure. That's really all I was wanting to say, other than just to kind of destroy this stereotype of the dragon's den. I personally get involved. Obviously, I'm a member of the board of directors of the companies I get involved with, but I'm always on the phone. The guys are always phoning me up, and I find that a lot of what I have to offer is encouragement. It's a very lonely place being an entrepreneur. You can't moan and groan to the people you work with because you're relying on them. You're trying to keep them going. You can't moan and groan to your wife because she's fed up with the moaning and groaning. She's got plenty of other things to worry about, and it's giving you hassle because you're not bringing any money home at the weekend. Having somebody there, an angel investor, who they can pick up the phone to and talk things through with, actually is a tremendous support to an early stage business. So there we go. Some angels are wealthy and literally can come in with the wads of cash on the table. Some aren't. Some people have a lot of time to give. Some don't. Some businesses need or want, are looking for support and assistance. I think there are probably others out there who basically just need the money. They've got the skills, they've got the ability, and and the person investing might not necessarily have the skill set. So there are opportunities for people who basically are interested in the idea of angel investing, who don't necessarily have the time or the inclination to get involved. But certainly that's not the way I would look at it, and I think probably not the way that most people look at it. So there you go. It is fun. It's immensely satisfying and rewarding. And if I was Alan Sugar, I probably got the beard, but I haven't got the short, stubby fingers. There's one thing that is for sure: your economy needs you. Actually, if I can just make an appeal to I know there are people involved in the professional services, accountants and lawyers. One difficulty that I experienced certainly with Sonic Academy, and I know I'm going to experience for the next one, is this whole issue of investment readiness. Not in terms of their ability to present a good business plan or to present a good set of financial projections, but in terms of their ability to be able to absorb an investor. There's a process of due diligence, which we've been talking about, but there's also all sorts of other things that need to be put in place. Shareholders' agreements. Now, the shareholders' agreements involve, obviously, significant protection rights for the angel investor, who ultimately will be a minority investor. So this is not a simple shareholders' agreement. It's something fairly complicated, and it can get quite acrimonious because you're demanding rights which might be quite alien to an entrepreneur. So there are all sorts of these little areas of capitalising companies so they're ready to take on angel investors. So there are all sorts of areas where I think the service people can actually help investors, help this marriage process, ease it, and I think that would add an awful lot of value. So thank you very much indeed. I've probably gone way over time, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.